that's the next step, seeing how everything translates. But Vic Fangio brought this up in his press conference, right? There was a point where he was asked about Jordan Davis, and I think someone said, because of the weight loss, does that mean we should expect Jordan Davis to become a higher volume pass rusher? Should we expect more snaps and so on and so forth, right? Like, should we expect Jordan Davis to accumulate more pass rush moves, so to speak?
Right.
And essentially, Fangio was like, well, if you're slimmer, if you're more in shape, you can do more.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're in shape and you're conditioned, you can get low and stay low. You know, a guy like him that's 6'6" needs, is going to have to learn how to make himself 6'2".
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And when you're tired, you're standing more upright. You're not getting as low as you're supposed to be. You're not getting as low as you're supposed to be in your stance. So I think it's only natural we should expect a new and improved version of Jordan Davis going into, what is this, his fourth season?
Yeah.
Right. This is fourth season. It's crazy to think about Jordan Davis going into his fourth season as a Philadelphia Eagle. I remember the night he got drafted. It was the same. It was the same night the Eagles traded for AJ Brown. It was an eventful night, a very eventful night. And Jordan Davis has been through some ups and downs in his very young career. I mean, the reality is Jordan Davis is a guy that we questioned his conditioning. We questioned the versatility of his game. We all thought highly of him when he got drafted, right? We thought a guy this big with this type of athleticism, he should be able to dominate the competition. We haven't seen anything like this. Maybe not since Vita Vea, a guy that size moving like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe Dexter Lawrence, a guy that size being able to move like that. I think, and maybe I'm crazy, but I believe if Jordan Davis can show the level of discipline he showed in his weight loss these past couple seasons, because he came into this season in shape, and Fangio even said he got more in shape as the season went. He got stronger the deeper he got into the season. Whereas on 2023, his second season, he got weaker the longer the season went.
Yeah.
So he was able to flip that. Now the next step is being able to start the season that way and end the season that way. And call me crazy again, I think if he stays on this trajectory, I'm hoping he can scratch a Vita Vea style career, because Vita Vea is a guy that not only can stop the run, he's a nose tackler, so he plays his position.
Yeah,
if he can scratch that type of career, because Vita Vea gets sacks as well.
Yeah,
he's a pass. He can collapse the pocket as well. He doesn't just fill the gaps and so on and so forth. He's very good at what he does. So, I'm all in on Jordan Davis right now. I know some people thought at many points throughout the season I was against him because I had predicted that they wouldn't pick up his option. And the reason I predicted that is because they drafted him very early in the first round, I believe top 15, right?
Yeah.
And quite frankly, as much as I love Jordan Davis and as much as I know exactly what he brings, and what he brings is of tremendous value to a team like the Eagles specifically, I don't know if they would say they got first-round return on that first-round investment. Now, when you think about the larger puzzle, he fits perfectly into the puzzle.
Yeah. And also, don't forget
in the grand scheme of things,
the Eagles have experience in that specific scenario with Brandon Graham.
Yes, exactly. So Jordan Davis has shown year after year that he wants to be better. He wants to be great. He's taking his health seriously. And all I can do is respect the brother's intention. And even though I predicted they wouldn't pick up the option, that didn't mean I didn't want them to, or I don't want him on the team. It's some people that like to conflate those things.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about, and when I said he wasn't getting his option picked up, I was just thinking from the perspective of, okay, he's a D tackle who only plays about 11, 12 snaps a game. Maybe you feel like you can get him cheaper than picking up that option. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about the financials of it all.
Yeah, but I thought that they were gonna ride with him, especially after what happened with Mill Williams. I think in the back of Howie's mind, he was like, well, he hasn't been bad. He's had great moments, but he hasn't been great. So he spiked up some potential. So let's roll with it to see what we get.
Right.
At the very worst, he'll be out of here and we'll have somebody else in here. At the very best, he's everything we thought he could be. And I think if you are anybody in the chat, and I always want to paint this picture so you understand what type of physical specimen you're dealing with. Right. If anybody in the chat, if y'all work out, the next time you go to the gym to work out, or if you're on your own, do this for a warm-up. Just make this your warm-up. Get on the field or in some grass. You can do this in your backyard. And all you got to do is walk from one end to the other. But every 5 yards, you lay down on your back and get back up. Not like a burpee or anything like that. I'm not talking about just falling down. Controlled, get yourself on the ground, on your back, face up, and then stay there for about 2 seconds and then get back up. And I guarantee you, on that third or fourth time that you get up off the ground, your body will start to fatigue just from the act of getting up. And the reason I'm bringing this up is now you look at somebody the size of Jordan Davis, the size of Jordan Mailata, the size of Mekhi Becton. And as many times as they got to get up, get down, get up, get down, get up, get down.
It's a lot.
That size.
The pads, the helmet, the helmets, it's a lot.
It's a hell of a lot.
And
on top of that,
I commend them. Man.
You in the trenches, so you getting blasted from every side. So having his health, and right before you got on, I was making the point. I didn't know this for certain. This is just my guessing. I've never heard this. This is something that's coming out of my brain. I was curious if maybe he had some type of health scare in the offseason, because he said in one of his press conferences, he said, well, yeah, I just got to take it more seriously because this is a life thing. He kept saying it was about life, not necessarily about the Eagles and playing football, but just getting healthy for life. And I was like,
right.
Maybe he had, maybe something happened. So, but in any case,
or
he
maybe
looks good.
Somebody in his life, sometimes you see people in your family and think something happened to them, and you're like, okay, I got to take my, I got all the resources in the world. I can't be playing around like this.
No excuses. No excuses.
Yeah, I think Jordan Davis is on a tremendous trajectory, and the thing is, we always had a high ceiling for him in terms of just our projections, right?
Right.
And anything I've ever felt about Jordan Davis is because I felt like he can take it to another level. I've always felt like a guy that size that can move like that. If he can just get his conditioning correct,
right,
he'll be unstoppable. He'll be an immovable object. He'll be an inevitable force.
Yeah, it's always something.
You pair him with Jalen Carter. It's a murder mystery. It's a murder mystery. I say murder mystery because they both so dominant. You ain't gonna know who the killer is.
Yeah, and then we can transition to the next bullet point. Moro Ojomo.
I'm super excited about Moro.
He been having a good camp.
Okay. I like where I jumped in at. And again, I apologize for being late, man. I missed out on so much good talk, and man, you really tap into get into the weeds with this. I love that we're talking about the D tackle position, because I think that's the one position group. I mean, I'm high on a lot of the groups, right? But that's the one group that I'm like really excited about. I'm really excited about that DT group. Obviously, Jalen Carter is Jalen Carter. We just got finished talking about Jordan Davis. We're about to get into Moro Ojomo, right? But may I throw in Thomas Booker IV in this conversation as well?
Yeah.
I think Thomas Booker IV is going to have, if he gets the opportunities, of course, because, they're deep there. I'm making a bold prediction. When the season starts, Thomas Booker IV beats out Ty Robinson for those fourth D tackle reps.
Beats out the Rook?
That's my bold prediction. Thomas Booker IV beats out Ty Robinson. It's nothing against Ty Robinson. I want to make that very clear. I think I'm sorry. It's nothing against Ty Robinson. Thomas Booker is going to beat him up. So
he played good the couple times he was in. He didn't get a lot of snaps.
Exactly.
For some reason, I just remember like that dude got some big ass guns. I just remember that. I was like, that joker got some arms, man.
Thomas Booker the fourth. If you look at him, he's cut like a god.
Yeah,
like,
he's ripped.
Yeah, he's a big dude, and I think I think this is his fourth season he's entering. Let me double check this, but Thomas Booker still relatively a young guy. Still relatively a young guy. He's 25 years old.
Wow.
25 years old.
I thought he was older than that too.
Yeah, he played in 2022. He didn't play in 2023. He played in 2024. So this is technically he's technically entering his third season on grass.
Okay.
But he's a young guy. And as much as I like Ty Robinson, I like Ty Robinson a lot. I think he's going to be a good player. Remember, we got him after he finished a 6-year career at Nebraska.
Yeah.
So
I remember the first time I saw Ty Robinson was the game he had against Colorado.
Colorado, right.
Yeah.
He didn't really break out into that final season. And again, he spent 6 years at Nebraska, like 5 or 6 years at Nebraska. That's a long time to just have that final breakout that final year. Again, I like the player. I think Ty Robinson is going to be good. I just think this season, I think Thomas Booker takes a step forward big enough that will have him leap Ty Robinson.
Yeah.
I think Thomas Booker the fourth is going to be that fourth D tackle in the rotation. Moro Ojomo is going to be the third. And obviously Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are 1 and 2, respectively.
Yeah.
But
appreciate the super chat, Benjamin.
But more, yeah, thank you, Be More. Shout out to my guy. Thank you, Be More. But
even if it's close, Ty will get the nod. MJS, I don't necessarily believe that, because if there's one thing that Vic Fangio has shown you is that he is looking for a specific thing from specific players, and if he doesn't see it, they are not playing. He has made that abundantly clear, crystal clear.
Right. And look, I could be wrong. Let's make that clear. I could be totally wrong, right? But I'm buying the Thomas Booker stock early. That's all it is. You know, we all want the same. We all want the same thing, y'all. We all want the same thing. But you know, I'm just putting my chips on this table. Y'all putting your chips on that table. That's okay. That's cool. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? It's me betting on Thomas Booker doesn't mean I don't think Ty Robinson is going to be a good player. I think he will be.
Right.
But hold on real quick. Let me just text. Let me double check something real quick. Ty Robinson. Let me see how old he is. Ty Robinson is 24 years old.
Okay.
Thomas Booker is 25. Thomas Booker already has 2 NFL seasons under his belt.
Did Ty Robinson get hurt
in college?
Yeah.
I don't know if Ty Robinson got hurt in college.
Or did he transfer? Because he would have had to have been a 6th-year senior.
No, he was at Nebraska the entire time.
So he had to have gotten hurt or redshirted.
He did get redshirted. He was redshirted his first season. But remember, okay, so this is what happened. He was redshirted in 2019. Then COVID happened in 2020. Yep. So not only did he get redshirted, he got the COVID year on top of that. That's why he was a 6-year college player.
Yep, you're right.
Because he got the additional redshirt year and he got the COVID year, and he took full advantage of it. It helped him iron out and define his game. I think he got his degree as well, right?
Yeah.
Somebody so now, granted, granted, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, that's 4 seasons. That's the degree right there. Those extra 2 years on top is him just focusing on football. And he was able to take his game to another level his final season. Granted, his 6th season, but he did it. And now he was drafted in the NFL by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles see something. I see something. I think he's going to be
I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good.
I think he's going to be good.
At the very least, he can be Ben Van Sumeren's backup at fullback. Because he has played fullback.
Oh, has he?
Yes. They did do a version of the brotherly shove at Nebraska, and a couple times he was in the backfield.
Yeah.
So he's got that type of even if it's a gadget, you got to have that type of athletic ability to be able to for them to even stick you back there. So I'm looking forward to seeing something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And again, y'all, I think Ty Robinson is going to be a good player. I really do. I just think Thomas Booker. I'm putting my stock. I'm investing in that Fortune 500. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. But we really was meant to talk about Moro Ojomo, that guy.
Yes.
Moro Ojomo's name came up in the press conference with Fangio as well. And they asked him about, the times earlier where he mentioned his frame and all that kind of stuff and so on and so forth. And Fangio was like, I think he's doing great. I think he'll do well. He's filling out his frame nice because Moro's kind of built like Milton. They're kind of undersized for the position.
Yeah,
they're tweeners a bit. They can play DN, but they're also D tackles as well. And he feels pretty comfortable with Moro Ojomo's trajectory right now, as he should. I think Moro Ojomo showed a lot of flashes last year. Actually, I don't know if people are aware of this, but Moro Ojomo, let me make sure I got this right here. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Moro Ojomo played the exact same snaps as. Yep. Moro Ojomo played the exact same snap count of Jordan Davis in 2024. Put that in perspective. I know we don't think much about it, but yeah, he put up the same amount of reps on grass, 388 snaps, 37% of the snaps on defense.
He got some mileage.
He's got some grass time in 2024. He's entering year 3, and I think Moro can definitely snag you about if he has like a 4 or 5 sack season. That's Milton Williams territory.
Yeah. He's got. Nobody knows what to expect. And it's funny because you hear the national media. I don't understand why they're saying our defense is the question mark. Well, no, I'll take that back. I do understand because everybody's looking at we just lost Milt Williams. Fletcher Cox is gone. Brandon Graham is gone. We had some big holes to fill. I know Fletcher Cox is
you lost Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
He traded CJGJ,
Yeah, so they think that the defense is just going backwards. I don't see it though. But I'm saying that because I don't expect the national media to understand it. And it gets back to that dynamic. We talked a lot about this last year. Mm-hmm. They don't see what we see because they're not in the house.
Exactly.
You heard something out there over there. And they don't. I did a video. I don't know if you saw it, the video I did with Mina Kimes. Same thing for the same reason. She just thinks that, and I love Mina Kimes, but because Milt Williams left, because Josh Sweat is gone, because Brandon Graham is gone, it's not going to be the same. They're not going to be as good. And I'm like, y'all ain't been paying attention. Y'all don't see what we see. So go ahead into that. Have that train of thought if you want to. But it's going to end up costing again. Because we still have the triple threat in the middle of our defensive line with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Because now I look at Jordan Davis as a legitimate threat. Especially when instead of being on the field for 30%, he can crank that up to maybe 50.
I was just about to say that because when you got Jalen Carter playing, and let's not, no exaggeration, this brother played damn near 90% of the snaps.
90%. He's a freak.
Like no exaggeration. Almost 90% of the defensive snaps. I want to make sure I do this man justice. I'm gonna give you all the exact example, the exact snap count, because he's like that. And for him to take it to that level year after year is just gnarly to me.
Yeah.
Keep this in mind. In 2023, his rookie season, played in 16 games, started in 1, played 563 defensive snaps. That's 51% of the games, or 51% of the snaps he was available to play. 51% of the time he was on the field. Played 563 snaps. In 2024, played in 16 games, started in 15, went from 563 snaps in 2023, went from that to 831 defensive snaps played. That's 84% of the snaps available to him. Talk about consistency, being in shape, being able to dominate on a consistent basis. The perfect example of that is that divisional Los Angeles Rams matchup.
Right.
That's the perfect example of this brother being in peak performance shape and being able to tap into that well at the most crucial part of a game, the end of a game, after running around in the snow, which already wears you down.
Yeah.
And you've been through a long season, right? It was a dogfight all day. And he manages to pull the rabbit out of the hat. He manages to tap into that greatness, that well of energy and adrenaline that all the greats have, right? Some people shrink in the big moment. Some guys tap into a whole nother mode. Some guys tap into Super Saiyan 2 or 3. They get busy with it. And Jalen Carter, you got a guy playing that much. You look at Jordan Davis and say, "Hey, if we can get you guys on the field more often at the same time, that's the gold standard. That's right. The target right there." Again, Jordan Davis, 388 snaps played, right? That's around 30%. That's around 37% for him. If we can get Jordan Davis on the field for between 500 to 600 snaps, go up from that 380, because he played 519 in 2023. He played 519 then.
Right.
And that's when he kind of fell off a cliff on the back end of the season, so he wasn't really prepared to do that. I think they need to push him again. Let's get to that 500 mark.
I agree. And he looks like he's in a situation where he can do that.
You can see it in his face how much weight he lost. You can see it in his face, bro. It's crazy. He looks fantastic.
And I can't wait. To say what I was talking about earlier was once you get to the place where they're playing other people, not each other. Now you're going to be able to see some things. We're going to be able to see some things this Thursday. We're going to be able to see some things next week. Next week, the Browns come to town. I might try to get to one of those practices. Just so I can see Shedeur Sanders for myself.
Speaking of Shedeur, man, like you see, like they've been doing everything possible to hamper this kid, man. He has to fight for reps. He's barely getting any reps over there. The owners already speaking out against him. It's just weird. It's just weird energy over there.
Here's the thing with the Browns, and this is just my opinion. I think they're going to eventually get rid of him.
I think so as well.
And I think they're going to go with the 41-year-old quarterback. And Joe Flacco can still sling it, but how far is Joe Flacco going to take you? Because Joe Flacco is always one hit away. It ain't even got to be a bad hit, because your body's going to start to break down, and eventually Joe Flacco ain't Tom Brady. But I think I don't even want to say subconsciously. I think they're doing this willingly. I think they're trying to set themselves up so they can find a way to get Arch Manning.
Wow, this is a roundabout. That's a hell of a long game to play.
Because the owners have relationships with the I believe either with the Mannings or their agents or something like that. There is a tie-in between the Browns and the Mannings, right? So Joey Flacco will be 43 next year. Do you really want to set your franchise on the shoulders of a 43-year-old? No.
Why?
Deshaun Watson's out of there.
Yeah, I'm never worried about Deshaun
Dylan
Watson.
Gabriel's not going to be it.
Why even draft Shedeur? Why even draft him?
I have no idea. Because if what he said in his press conference is true, well, it was his decision, and like you threw your man under the bus.
Yeah, it was Andrew Berry, right? Is that the name?
Right. But okay, if you're gonna give him the autonomy to make that decision, support the decision. So I agree with Shannon Sharp. They cut him without even cutting him. And the bad part about it is all that money he done raised for the Browns, all the merch that he done sold already, and they're gonna end up kicking him to the curb. And he'll probably end up. I think he might end up in Vegas where he should have went in the first place. So we'll see. But I think the Browns are trying to figure out a way to make a play for Arch Manning. That's what they are trying to do.
You're thinking about tanking already. The season ain't even start yet.
Are they going? So do you really think Kenny Pickett is going to stay?
I have no idea what the Browns are doing. I look at the moves they made from the perspective of the quarterback position.
This is something that we
Flacco. You drafted Dylan Gabriel. You drafted Shador. You traded for Kenny Pickett. You got Deshaun Watson.
They trying to get out from under Deshaun Watson and what's your boy down in Atlanta? What's the QB in Atlanta?
Kirk Cousins.
Deshaun Watson and Kirk Cousins need to get together and write a book.
They got honestly, they have the worst contract.
How to be a millionaire in 3 easy steps? Because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what type of voodoo or whatever kind of magic they're using to get them type of deals after everything that they've happened. Kirk Cousins has won one playoff game in his career, and he signs a $120 million contract. I don't understand that at all. But they keep doing it. I ain't mad at them. I just question the guys that are sitting at the table, and I'm looking at them like, what are y'all thinking about?
Yeah.
What would make you do that? So, but I'm saying all that to say, Cleveland are trying to rid themselves of Deshaun Watson.
James said Sam Bradford wrote that book.
Man, Sam Bradford didn't cash that check that big. Shoot. But I think the Browns are trying to make a play for Arch Manning. I think that's what this all comes down to. I think Dylan Gabriel, while he was a pretty good quarterback, I don't think he's next level. And they can get rid of him. They didn't really a 3rd round pick. They didn't really pay him that much money. And at the end of the day, he's a backup.
So Dylan Gabriel, you drafted. Shador Sanders, you drafted. You wasted two draft picks on 2 quarterbacks you don't really believe in the first place.
Here's the calculated gamble. And this is the way I'm looking at it. How many, if you go down a list, look at all the teams, how many 5th round draft picks make the team?
It's a good point.
So
tough.
That's a what's the right phrase? That's an acceptable loss in their eyes.
I guess to your point, yeah. I guess we're thinking more about the profile of the player than his draft.
Correct.
Style.
That's exactly what we're doing. Because we're looking at everybody. How many times has the Cleveland Browns been the epicenter of the NFL training camp? Not never.
Well, actually, the Deshaun Watson situation made them the epicenter.
I disagree. That was just a distraction that was there.
Oh. Are you talking about for football reasons?
Yeah, for football reasons. Because it wasn't Deshaun Jackson, because that year, if I remember correctly, it was Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So he was a distraction. Everybody was like, well, what's going on over there? Why would they? Because we all said the same thing. Why would the Cleveland pay him that much money? And they're stupid and all. So it was a distraction. It wasn't like he was going in there lighting it up. And then he played like how he played, and everybody was like, ugh, y'all got.
Yeah.
But again,
how much they paid him? It was all guaranteed.
246 or something goofy like that. It was something ridiculous. God. Another situation with the Browns where you're asking yourselves, all the guys that are sitting at the table making this decision, what are y'all thinking? Y'all supposed to be the smartest guys in the room, and you're not. And even I have done this before. I'm listening into Browns podcasts. I'm listening to their sports talk radio because I'm trying to get a gist of how Shador is performing in camp. And based on everything that I've listened to from guys that are in practice every day, Shador has looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
He's looked better than Dylan Gabriel. He's looked better than Kenny Pickett, who's hurt.
The word is there's a real disconnect amongst their media when it comes to Shador. Like, I've seen a lot of Cleveland guys, media-wise, be in support of Shador and they see he's being railroaded. Yeah.
And even the ones that aren't necessarily quote unquote pro Shador are still honest about what he's been doing in camp. And I have not heard anyone say that Dylan Gabriel was better than Shador Sanders in camp. I have not heard anybody say that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to try to broker a trade, but I think that hopefully they can, because they don't want to release him. They want to try to get something for him, even though he's a 5th round draft pick, but they understand his value. And I think they're trying to set themselves up and they'll eventually either get rid of Dylan Gabriel or he'll be battling again with Arch Manning. Arch Manning is the prize that they want.
Well, on that note, speaking of understanding value or not understanding value, clearly the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys are not understanding the value of Terry McLaurin and Michael Parsons, respectively.
Man, they need to get together and go bowling, something, because I don't get it. Especially McLaurin, man. Especially Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, that's the one that really is shocking to me. So Terry McLaurin requested a trade. Excuse me. Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders requested a trade, and also Michael Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys requested a trade. They're both in the midst of contract negotiations or lack thereof, and both players believe that they're being shortchanged by these organizations and that they're not they're not being valued and being taken for granted, essentially. And for the Commanders to play hardball with Scary Terry like this, when he's held this organization up on his back,
I don't get it. Not the model citizen.
And I understand that it's not about what you've done; it's about what you're going to do. I'm sorry, man. Terry McLaurin hasn't shown any signs of slowing down to me, and he has been. Let's not pretend Jaden Daniels just came into the league and just didn't have any support. He came into a situation where he had two veterans that held him down. Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz. Now, Zach Ertz, he's an OG. You can get him for the cheap. Easy, right? Easy to bring him back. But Terry McLaurin, a guy who's been one of the most reliable, one of the most consistent, one of the best receivers in football. One of the best.
One of the best.
We're never going to get into rankings. That's not even the point of the conversation. He's one of the best. He's the number one on any football team. That's how good he is.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
So for the Washington Commanders, for Washington Commanders to play hardball like this is shocking to me, knowing how close you believe you got to a Super Bowl
you set your young quarterback up for the future.
Yeah.
You are in a perfect scenario. You got the perfect vet, still productive, still considered a game plan, meaning that whoever plays Washington, you got to figure out what Terry McLaurin is going to do. He is still the game plan.
Exactly. I agree. I agree 100%.
Yes, you're gonna sign him to what, a 3-year deal? Maybe he'll get a 4-year deal, but unless his skills just drop off the cliff, now you got somebody in-house that's going to coach the next iteration of talent that comes through the door. That's what you want. He understands how the game is played, and he understands he ain't gonna play forever. So you got to be able to bring in the next crop, and now you got the guy that you want to coach up rookies and young people.
Mm-hmm.
You got the perfect guy, and now he don't want to be there.
Yeah, now, and honestly, after Terry McLaurin, I'm not impressed by their receiving core. I'm just not.
Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz.
I know they got Debo, but I'm not buying the Debo trade to the Commanders. I'm not buying that stock. I don't think Debo's going to be a bad situation. I don't think Debo's going to be as dominant as people think. I think Debo still has something left, but I just don't think he's going to be as dominant as we're used to seeing. But the Terry McLaurin situation, just messy, super messy. A guy who's low key, all about business, has been a consummate professional, has always showed up for this organization whenever they needed him. Now, granted, this is the first time they played. This isn't the first time when they played with him about his money. It was hard for him to get his first extension.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a shame, man. I think it's a shame. Now, granted, we seen Myles Garrett request a trade, and all of a sudden the money came out, right?
It could just be posturing.
So he could he could be posturing, right? It could just be a leverage play.
Absolutely. It's possible. It's possible.
I guess my mindset is y'all could have got this out of the way earlier.
Easily.
Y'all could have got this out of the way earlier before some of these wide receiver contracts came up. You could have extended him. Probably could have got him for the AJ Brown rate, 30 million, 32 million, something like that. Now he wants something around the DK Metcalf rate. So And then I think about the Micah Parsons situation, which is even more messy. Because
and I think
Micah
said,
I delivered my trade request to Stephen Jones personally.
I think he's gonna stay. I think they're gonna end up signing him, but it's just so much bad PR right now with the Cowboys. Once again, I saw Swagoo's thing on ESPN about it, and he's 100% right. For like the last 4 to 5 years, there's always been something in camp that's been a distraction with the Cowboys. Something, whether it was with the whole with CD, with Dak. There's always something where you just can't play ball. And again, I tried to go back and find this clip. This is back in my A2D radio days, and I remember saying, I think it was Micah's rookie year, or maybe I think it was his second year. And I said, if Micah Parsons doesn't drink the Dallas Cowboy Kool-Aids and he just stays quiet, and just continues to just wreck shop, and he becomes the leader of that defense with that personality, Dallas is going to be a problem.
I remember
that. No sooner than I said that, about 3 weeks later was when he was on Von Miller's podcast. And after that, when he said what he said about Jalen Hurts, it was like everything went to shit. Because that's when he started his own podcast. Then he started talking every week, and it just progressively got worse. If he'd have just stayed, humble's not the right word. It's just if he'd have just stayed quiet and about business, kept it football, the Dallas Cowboys would be a very, very dangerous team.
Yeah, but that problem goes beyond just him. The problem goes beyond just him at this point, man.
Yeah,
it's an ingrained issue with how they do business. And how and also it's an ingrained issue in what they prioritize.
Yeah.
This has just been a roller coaster. This has been drama. This has been theater. This has been a soap opera.
Unnecessarily.
That's
the bad part. It's unnecessary. And I am so glad when I see stories like this, when I see Washington, when I go back and look at what happened in Tennessee and how we got AJ Brown. I am so glad we've got who we have in our front office doing the damn thing. Heck, I even when I had Dave Spadero on, I was talking about, when Joe Douglas coming back, and he was like, somebody that's been here and knows what's expected of them. Plug and play. And we say it very easily, very candidly, very casually, but it is so supremely difficult to get that in your organization. And we got it. And I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the money these edge rushers getting paid, man. TJ Watt, $41 million. Myles Garrett, $40 million. Danielle Hunter, $35.6. Max Crosby, $35.5. Nick Bosa, $34. Then you got Chris Jones making $31.7. Sauce Gardner making $30.1 at corner. Derek Stingley making $30. Joshua Hines Allen making $28.2 on the edge. Brian Burns making $28.2 on the edge. Milton Williams making $26 million. Dog, Micah Parsons, he wants TJ Watt, Myles Garrett money. That's $40+ million a year. And if he asking for that, I can't call him crazy.
No, but here's the thing.
Crazy.
Here's the thing, Tone. I don't think he is now. But if you remember, he was trying to get a deal done before everybody else.
Yes. He
was trying to set the market. So
exactly.
What if he did? What if it had been 32?
They could have got away with paying him probably 35, because
maybe paying him 30 with some ridiculous signing bonus. They could have worked it out.
Yeah, the reason I say 35 is because
Max Crosby set the price.
Yes. The reason I say 35 is because Max Crosby signed for 35.5. And
he was 2 months before Max Crosby.
Yeah, and Nick Bosa got $34 million. Right?
He was way before. He was trying to get it done way before them two.
He was trying to. And this is the problem with the Cowboys.
I don't get Jerry Jones. You know what?
You could have got away with paying the guy $33 million, right? Then you allow Nick Bosa to get paid before him. You allow Max Crosby to get paid before him. Daniil Hunter, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt. You have been pricing yourself out of the player. But you decide, and also this is what makes it even more petty. You decide to pay your tight end Jake Ferguson before Michael Parsons. Oh, you can find that money,
and it was unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
They're overpaying for Dak, and yep. I'm not even going to get into Dak's production as far as winning. I'm not going to get into his stats. The reality is, you got caught with your pants down because you pulled your own pants down, and you're paying him a premium that you don't have to pay him because you waited too long. They waited too long the first time they paid him.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing with Micah.
They waited too long to pay CD. They could have got CD for a way better number than what they got him for. Right now, CD Lamb is the third highest paid wide receiver. They got him for $34 million. They got him for 34. And AJ Brown's making 32. Garrett Wilson's making 32.5. DK Metcalf's making $33 million a year. CD Lamb $34 million. Justin Jefferson 35. Jamar Chase 40.2. Which again, that one really blows my mind. Because why is there a $5.2 million difference between him and the second guy? Not only are you paying him the highest at his position, you're significantly overpaying him.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you thought paying him $40.2 million when the previous guy was making $35 million made sense. You could have got him for 36 and justify, hey, you're the highest paid player. We're paying you the highest at the position, 36 million, 37 million. He got y'all to pay him 40.2. But I digress. I look at the numbers these wide receivers getting paid at, and CeeDee Lamb, they waited. Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid before him. AJ Brown got paid before him. Justin Jefferson got paid before CD. Who else? Tyreek Hill got restructured before CD. Yep. Jalen Waddle got paid before CD. Devontae Smith got paid before CD. Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley all got paid before CD Lamb.
Way too many people got paid before him.
And you allowed the market to be set, and now you had to pay the piper. You had to pay the high price. You had to pay the high price.
You didn't have to.
And you didn't have to if you get ahead of it. If you keep your books in order. I swear, man, since the turn of the century, the Dallas Cowboys have forgotten how to do math. I think we talked about this.
They done forgot something.
After they won that last Super Bowl, after the salary cap era really took shape, they forgot how to do math.
Yeah. I just don't. It's one thing for when stuff gets. If you have to, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But just don't do nothing unnecessarily, and because you're wasting your energy and your time.
Yep. How he said it. He said, "Draft, develop, pay."
I don't understand it, and not again the same thing with Washington. Not the best player on your team. Not the best player.
Let me ask you a question. Who's more valuable to your long-term success? Like, you know what? Let me not even spice it up. Who's more valuable to you? An edge rusher or a wide receiver?
See, that's tough because there's no right or wrong answer.
I know it's not one-to-one. I totally know it's not one-to-one. It's not simple.
Right.
It's not simple.
That's like, think about it like this. Who's more important? Jared Goff or Megatron? You know what I mean? So you got every situation is different. Megatron was one of the best ever to do it. But he didn't have a great quarterback at the time. Or is that when Stafford was in Detroit?
Yeah, Stafford, yeah. And they put up numbers, but they weren't winning.
They weren't winning. So the measure of importance is it's the same conversation we having about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is disrespected. It all depends on what measurements you are using. Our measurements, obviously, is he competent? Is he a leader? Can he get wins? Did he win the big game? Yes, 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 and yes.
But if you're a GM, and you're in a situation like the Cowboys, you got to start throwing some money around. And if you got to lose a guy, are you going to gamble losing Micah, or are you going to gamble losing CD?
I would. Defense wins championships. Again, you got to look at the situation as it exists. As much as everybody from the Cowboys likes Dak, what has Dak done?
He's the highest paid quarterback in football.
Correct. And he's won how many playoff games?
And honestly, they didn't have to give him that money. They didn't have to.
Do you realize that the Cowboys' best chance to win a Super Bowl went through the fingers of Tony Romo when he botched that hold?
Man, I think they're, to your point about their Super Bowl window, the moment they fumbled that Amari Cooper CeeDee Lamb combo and Michael Gallup, and they had Zeke and all that kind of stuff, the moment they fumbled that, and they had a defense. That's what I'm saying, right? They say the Eagles had a super team and so on and so forth, and Jalen Hurts got carried by it, or whatever. And my whole point is, right, you still can fumble that bag as a quarterback. You can still not be successful with that. And
isn't it funny? The only people that complain about having a super team is those that don't have one. Because isn't that the point? Isn't that the point that you have players at every position? Every team gets lucky and you get a Pro Bowler here, or All Pro there. But at the minimum, you want great players at every position.
Yeah,
it's an unreasonable request.
For sure. If you can help it,
correct. And even if you do have, we have had, for the last 3 years, we have had great players at almost every position. Now, the shameful part is all of those players aren't going to make the Pro Bowl or All Pro or like that, because they're not going to vote for all of those people on one team. Exactly. They got to spread it around. So there's going to be people that are missed. But ultimately, that is the goal of anybody building a team. So why is it all of a sudden a dig at us because we had a great team and a quarterback that knew how to steer the ship? Because I guarantee you, if Jalen would have lost that game, we would never hear the end of it.
You know what?
Yeah, he was great.
They would have said the greatest Eagles team that never was.
That never was.
How Jalen Hurts failed to get it done with this Eagles roster.
Exactly.
You know, that would have been the stand on his jacket. And I look at Dak Prescott, I look at the Cowboys in general, and I say to myself, y'all had the rosters. And then some of their fan base wants to blame the defense not showing up in the playoffs. Some part of their fan base wants to blame the quarterback not showing up in the playoffs. The reality is the Cowboys don't show up in the playoffs. The Cowboys.
It's irrelevant who you blame.
At this point, it's definitely irrelevant.
It's irrelevant who you blame, because at the end of the day, you got to blame somebody.
There was a point where they had Amari, CD, and Zeke, and they all went over 1,000 yards in the season. How can you like that? They had a Super Bowl caliber roster for many seasons.
They have had their opportunities. They have had their players in place.
Which in turn, you got to ask yourself now: is Jerry Jones really crazy? Because when you think about one thing I can say about Jerry, we joke about him, we criticize him, whatever. But the one thing I can say about Jerry, he's put some rosters together. Him and Stephen Jones have put some rosters on that football field.
Number one, I want to know who's doing most of the work. Is it Stephen Jones or Jerry Jones? Because I believe that if Jerry Jones was not part of the equation, Stephen Jones would be making different decisions.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Yes. Stephen Jones is way older than Jerry Jones was when he got the team. So Jerry Jones still has his hands in the cookie jar, and he's messing up the batter. He's screwing it up. He's the problem.
I agree 100%, but I just, again, as the head, right? Even though he's been a menace to society, his fingerprints have helped create some really good rosters for that team.
Have they though? Who's doing the scouting? and let me streamline it.
I guess what I'm trying to say is he's there and he's not those rosters haven't not been constructed in his presence.
I understand that, but let me streamline this question.
Okay.
Who's doing the homework? Jerry Jones ain't going out scouting.
Okay.
Got you. Who is everybody reporting to?
Okay.
Everybody reporting to Stephen Jones, and Stephen Jones takes it to his daddy, and they make the decision because ultimately it's still Jerry's team. But who's doing the homework?
Okay, let's stay there for a second. I like where you're going. Let's just say he's not doing the homework. Let's roll with your angle. Jerry's just the guy that cuts the check. Let's just stay there. He's cutting the check for these rosters that are not performing optimally. He's paying it.
Yeah.
He's paying he's let's to your point. Let's say he's not doing any of the homework. Let's say he's not doing none of the science. But he still is greenlighting the checks to these guys.
That part I understand, but my problem is the back half of it. I'm not debating his acumen in putting a team together.
Mm-hmm.
My issue or annoyance with Jerry Jones is the back half of it. Is the circus show, is all of the other stuff that comes from him that ends up being a distraction.
Yes,
because when I came up in football, my era of football is you did not want to be a distraction. And he is, by definition, a walking distraction.
I do agree with you 100%. That's one thing we do agree on. I definitely think he is the epitome of a distraction, and you don't want that from that. You don't want that kind of distraction from that seat he sits in. You don't want.
Who are they asking about Micah Parsons' deal? Are they asking Stephen Jones?
They're asking Jerry. No, you're right. You're right.
Exactly.
You know, you're absolutely right. And Jerry's the one with all these sound bites. You know,
yes.
You're right.
And
you're right.
To your point, he does have the acumen and the wherewithal to put together some good rosters. Now, having said that, if you smart enough to understand putting together a good roster, how come you're not smart enough to understand your best player could have been signed for less money 2 and 3 months ago?
I agree with you. I feel you on that. You know, I look at Jerry Jones right now, and I say to myself, brother, you're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing. You're doing a fantastic job right now, Mr.
For
Jones.
The Eagles.
I absolutely love what you do. You know, you're the American dream incarnate. We love what you're doing, Big Jerry. We love you, Jerry. We love the way you're building these rosters and creating such a culture. We love it.
Sharon, say it again, but louder. Say it again, but louder.
Exactly. I like that, Sharon. He makes more money doing it his way. Listen.
Do you want to make money or do you want to win championships?
Jerry has what, 3 Super Bowls?
Yes.
He has 3, right? And okay, the 21st century hasn't been kind to him, right? Hey man, 3 Super Bowls. You built that organization up to what you did. Hey, you know, from a football standpoint, you know, he's been a failure in the 21st century, but you know, the Cowboys, the valuations keeps on getting higher. The valuation keeps on getting higher, man. So,
listen, man,
you know,
Jerry Jones,
thank you, Jerry.
When Jerry is part of the Hall of Fame as an owner, you know, they're going to show his championships on VHS tape. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Our stuff is in 4K digital.
4K digital, baby. You know what I mean? You can even get a Blu-ray if you want to.
Man, you can pull out your Nokia phone and give Jerry a call and all of that type of stuff, man. But the statute of limitations is, yeah, man, MJS. I hope y'all saw my video where I had all of the old phones that came out in 1996.
30 years ago.
Man, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to.
30 years ago is crazy when you think about it.
So
30 years ago.
But you know what? That is not my riddle to solve.
Man.
All I know is back in 93 and 94, when I was with the Eagles, you would always, every now and then we would get that win against the Cowboys. And people would literally say, it's like our Super Bowl. And that's not entirely incorrect. And the only reason you say that is because we hadn't won anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to count the championships that the Eagles won before the Super Bowl era, because we won, what, 2 of them?
Yeah, something like that, 2 or 3, something like that.
So, okay, that's fine. And we had to hear all of that shit, all of that crap, time and time again. Talk to me when you got rings. Talk to me when you won something. We had to hear that from New York. We had to hear that from Washington. And we had to hear that especially from them damn Cowboys fans. And now that it's our turn, I don't want to hear shit.
I feel you on that 100%.
I don't want to hear nothing from Cowboys fans. If you didn't watch Troy Aikman play for yourself, step out of this conversation. Grown folks is talking. Because as a Eagles, a former Eagle player, I have to acknowledge how good Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith, how good those boys was. Larry Allen and them. Those boys were the truth. And they are long gone.
Mm-hmm.
They are long gone. So stop claiming championships you weren't even born for. If you didn't see him play yourself, I don't want to hear from you. If you actually saw Troy and them play and how good they were, talk your talk.
Yeah, if you're an OG, like if you're an OG Cowboys fan and you've been having to live through this tumultuous 21st century, I feel for you. But if you was born in 97, 96 and you was still in the sack, I ain't trying to hear none of that, man. You don't know what you was watching. I was able to see Super Bowl confetti fall from the sky. You feel me? As an adult. I ain't trying to hear none of that. So yeah, man. Commanders, Cowboys, we're going to keep our eyes on those teams because it is theater. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, but it's also unfortunate that 2 guys who have been productive for those organizations can't even get paid, man.
And they get paid, and they doing everything right.
Right, and they drafted those players too. They drafted those guys.
You might not like Micah Parsons' podcast, but damn it, when he step on the field, he about business.
Yeah.
He's about business.
He's a really, really good player. It's a guy you don't want to not have on your team. So, so that's why I appreciate Howie Roseman for understanding the value of guys like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, right? Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Cam Jurgens, you know what I'm saying? Zach Bond, right? Guys that they forked out a lot of money to pay thus far.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think the Eagles are in prime position to do exactly what they did last year, dominate, impose their will. And it's all because they've built a culture of accountability, a culture of winning, a culture of you do right by us, we do right by you.
Right.
Even if things go sour, we're still going to do right by you. Case in point, CJGJ, trading him to the Houston Texans, a team that's very much in the hunt for not just their division, but their conference, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
So, I just think the Philadelphia Eagles are the cream of the crop. They're the model organization, especially in the NFC. And if you're a Cowboys fan, if you're a Commanders fan, if you're a fan of any other organization, hey, much respect to you, but I like where I sit.
Yeah.
I like where I sit, man.
We are good, man.
For sure.
We are good. So before I get out of here, man, I gotta give y'all some transparency. My faux pas. We all get a turn. We all get a turn, Tom.
Oh, what happened?
Man, listen. My buddy sent me a text and was like, "Hey, man, if you're going to if you're gonna be a part of the alumni game, I'd love to go with you." So I was like, "For sure, man. I'll let you know. I always go to the alumni game, and they play in Cincinnati. Heck yeah, I'm going to see the hometown."
Mm-hmm.
Then I started thinking. I was like, "This was Friday." I was like, "You know what? Usually I get an invitation from the Eagles. I haven't gotten anything. Man, I went through my emails, buried about 40 emails deep under some junk, under a bunch of junk mail. Was my RSVP invitation from the Eagles to take part in the alumni day, and I had missed the deadline. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!"
So was done. So was done is done.
No. I called one of my guys at the Eagles. I haven't heard back from because all this happened on Friday, like late Friday, like 5 o'clock on Friday. So They're not answering the phone at the Eagles office. So I'm going to call them again Monday, see if I can make some things happen to get down there. I don't think it'll be a problem, but, if I don't get an opportunity to go, it ain't nobody's fault but my own.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just thought that was funny.
That's that.
Shit happens, bro. It happens.
Bro,
And I was like,
crazy,
they
dog.
playing Cincinnati too? Come on, son.
Yeah. I was about to say that's a good game for you.
Yeah, so
that's a real good game for you.
I think I should be able to, worst come to worst, maybe I can call Spadero and pull some strings, hopefully.
Yeah, speaking of that Cincinnati game real quick, you probably touched on it already. And we're likely not going to tap in until after that game.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on because it's not really the matchup we care about. It's more so what we want to see from the players and so on and so forth. Who are you looking forward to seeing in that game? How do you think some of the rotations are going to play out?
I have zero expectations. All I want to see is Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo. I want to see Trotter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see Jordan Davis move around a little bit. But you never know how many snaps these guys are going to get. I don't think Jihaad Campbell's going to play. Nolan Smith is probably not going to play. I doubt we'll see the starters. I don't think Jalen's going to play. So you're just trying to see some of the young guys. I want to see Eli. I want to see Elijah Cooks because I think he's going to end up taking Wilson's spot at 6'4", 215. He's a big body that can go up and get it, and he looks like he's got a little attitude to him. So I like having big body receivers, especially athletic ones. So we know what we got with Tanner McKee. If he goes out there and plays, I'm expecting him to have a good game. So we really be looking at our third string quarterback who's going to be holding the clipboard. I want to see if A.J. Dillon will get some run. I want to see some snaps with him and Shipley.
Yeah, I want to see how much pop Dillon got left.
I think Dillon's going to surprise some people. Because don't forget, when you don't play, that's a lot of rest on them legs.
Yeah,
that's a lot of rest on them legs. So, and he's a physical back, man. And I think, I think that's a good rest for Saquon, because now you got Shipley who can break one, and then you got the power of AJ Dillon, who's not necessarily slow. He ain't got Saquon speed, but he before he got hurt, he was doing some things.
Yeah, his speed is deceptive. Like he's the kind of guy you don't think is going to break away until he does.
I don't need him to break away. I need him to run over.
Yeah. I need him to be a chain mover. I need him to be a change of pace guy. I need him to just deliver punishment and be a reliever, right? I think our running back combination is perfect.
I think we're solid.
You have Saquon Barkley, a guy who can do a little bit of everything at a high level. You got Shipley, who's more of that scat back.
Yeah.
Right? And you got Dillon, who's that prototypical power back, north-south.
Yeah. Dillon was out 24. Dillon was out for a whole season because he had a neck injury.
He had a neck stinger. He was out for the whole 2024 season. But prior to that, he's a guy that not only was productive in the run game as the second guy in the rotation, he was also productive as a pass catcher as well.
Yeah.
So Dillon is an interesting running back. He's a guy that I think has had a very solid NFL career. He's never been the number one guy, but as the number two guy, he's been very, very productive. Playing behind AJ, my man, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, yeah. I think he's a perfect fit. He's a role player.
Yeah. I think Dillon is a good back. Is a good running back. He's talented, and I think he's had. Make sure I got this right here. AJ Dillon. He's had many seasons in a row of having. So here it is. Okay, so in 2020, he was a rookie, so he didn't really get that much burn. But 2021 had over 1,100 yards from scrimmage, had 800 rushing yards and 313 receiving. In 2022, had 976 yards from scrimmage. And in 2023, he had 836 yards from scrimmage. Now, in 2021 and 2022, he had, between 2021 and 2023, he's accumulated 16 touchdowns. 16 touchdowns as a backup running back. He had 7 in 2021, 7 in 2022, and 2 in 2023. So I think A.J. Dillon is a guy that can definitely fit pretty well playing next to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I'm really excited to see Jeremiah Trotter, man. He's given Jihaad Campbell all he can handle in training camp.
Yeah.
You know,
But the one thing about Trot Jr. is while he may not be the most physically gifted, he knows where he's supposed to be because he had that tutelage from his dad. And that makes up whatever you might be lacking physically. If you know where you're supposed to be, you're gonna make it happen. Very similar to Nakobe. People forget Nakobe is not a dummy. Nakobe is a engineering degree from the University of Georgia.
Yeah. Smile Mondan spoke highly of him in his press conference. He mentioned how he said Nakobe is one of the smartest guys. Like he's always coaching up the young guys, coaching me up. He said Nakobe's really smart. Like he understands what to do.
Knows where he's supposed to be, and can coach everybody else up. So Trotter Jr. has that type of pedigree because he's been watching film since he was 5. You know what I mean? So he can get it done, and I'm just interested. Those are the guys I'm interested in seeing them play. I want to see them do something. I want to see Keely Ringo be physical. All of these guys. I want to see Ty Robinson get in there and make some things happen. I just want to see guys hit some people in other color jerseys. That's what it comes down to.
I feel you, man. 100%, man. Hey, make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Eagles Offseason Show. I came in for the second hour. Man, oh man.
Alarm tone.
Bruh. I woke up feeling like an asshole. I'm like, oh my God. I just got finished talking to this guy on the phone yesterday, man, using the phone for about 15, 20 minutes, just chopping it up, just game planning how we want this thing to go. And oh my God, dropping the ball, man. I can't be doing that.
That's all good, man. Life gets to life, bro.
I can't be doing that, but I promise you this though. You ain't gotta worry about that. You ain't gotta worry about that going forward.
It's all good.
You ain't gotta worry about that going forward, man.
We got some new stuff coming for y'all this season. We got another show we getting prepped for. When it's ready to launch, we gonna let you know how the times and all of that kind of stuff.
For sure. Just know you're getting a double dose.
Double dose.
Two shows a week.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? You're obviously getting your pregame show, but y'all gonna get a midweek show as well. You know, we're gonna be recapping because me and Coach, we always preview the first, the game that day, right? So what you guys are gonna get from us is not only your pregame show, setting you up for a said game. You're going to get a review show breaking down what we saw from not just the Eagles games, but also that particular week of football. And you're also going to get a preview for the following week of football. So you guys are going to get you guys are going to get a lot of content from us. We know you guys really enjoy this show, enjoy this content. So the goal for us, you guys, give you guys 2 shows a week.
Yep.
We're gonna hit the content hard, you guys. So it's gonna be a busy season. You know how we get down here. Me and Marcus experienced tremendous growth in this channel, both of our channels respectively. In that 2024 season, it couldn't happen at a better time. Us connecting like Voltron. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's too easy, man. It's too easy. We appreciate y'all for making it easy for us. So make sure y'all smash that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Both channels, Pro Fan Talk and Chalk It Up Sports. We appreciate y'all, man. Marcus, any final words, big dog? And anything on your heart?
Nah, just pray for me so I can get to this game. So I can bring some content from this game, man.
They gonna come through, man. They gonna come through. And if they don't, if
I'm there, I'm watching it from home, man. As long as the birds are playing ball. That's what
look. If they don't come through, let me know. Maybe we could tap in after the game
for sure,
and have a conversation about what we saw. Let me know. I know before the game might be a little tough because I know you work and the game starts at like 7, right, or 6.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, if things don't work out in your favor, hey, let's put some content out there and talk about what we saw, man.
For sure. We'll make it happen.
All right. I'll be in contact with you, my guy. You already know how we do. Play that song, man.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Flashing like a running back, kicking every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Told him Markus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, here to